All right, so right now, if you from Chicago, I really want you to watch this whole video because I'm finna tell y'all why Chicago is the way it is, and it really ain't because the people of Chicago. What a lot of people don't know is Chicago was a victim of one of the government's biggest experiments, and what I mean by the biggest experiment, let me explain it to you. So I feel like back in the 1960s, one of the first places that the government implemented welfare and food stamps and government assistance. I'm gonna just call it government assistance. One of the first places they implemented it was in the Cabrini Green projects of Chicago. Now, this is what happened. Black men in Chicago, they did have jobs, but they was not making ends meet. They wasn't making enough to keep the house, keep the heat on, pay the rent, make sure the wife got money to go out with the girls, and make sure that the kids had school clothes. So what happened was the government said, hey, we will give y'all food stamps. We'll cut your rent. We'll prorate your rent. We'll, give you money to pay your utilities. Basically, we'll take care of you. But in order for us to take care of you, you got to get rid of that man that's saying, can't be no man in your house if you want Uncle Sam to help you, right? So guess what happened? Women are always going to do what they need to do to protect their kids and provide for their kids. So a lot of those women in Chicago back in the 1960s, they decided to get rid of the man so that Uncle Sam can help them take care of 4, 5, 6 kids. You know what I'm saying? That started a big problem in Chicago. And the problem it started was, and I'm explaining it for the men, the women, and the kids. The problem it started with the men. A lot of the men that got kicked out of the household, they turned into drug dealers or they turned into drug addicts. When it comes to the women, they daughters seen them put the man out the house so they can get food stamps and checks every month to provide for themselves. So down generations, women started to do that. They would prefer to get on welfare than to marry a man and stay with the man. Why would I do that if the government gonna give me a check every month? Now let's talk about the little boys who don't have a father in the household no more. Those little boys have no guidance. They have no discipline. So those little boys are outside, and mind you, there's nothing to do in Chicago back in the night. No parks, none of that good stuff. Mind you, a lot of the parks is starting to get taken over by the fathers who have been kicked out the household because now they're drug dealing in these parks. And I'm not mad at the fathers. See, the fathers was out there drug dealing so they can get enough money so they can go back to the household they got kicked out of and say, look, babe, look, I made all this money. Can I please have my family back? That's what the fuck was happening in Chicago. This shit was all started by the government. Now let me take you to all the gangbanging shit. If you got all these young men out here with no father figure, no guidance, no discipline, now they're hanging out and they're fighting amongst one each other. Now they fighting and getting in trouble every day, and now it's progressing. It's progressing every year. So now they was first that the young men was just fighting with each other. Now they claiming cliques. They making up little gang names. Now they claiming streets. Now the government is dropping off crates of firearms down here. Now they're picking up firearms. Now they're saying, I'm from 63rd. I'm from 64th. Bang, bang, shoot them up. They bored. They don't have nothing else to do. And I want y'all to get in the comments and let me know if I'm tripping. But everything that's going on in Chicago was a government experiment with the welfare program and government assistance. That is what happened to Chicago. Everything that happened to Chicago that's happening right now started in the 1960s and it got passed down generations. Fathers have been getting kicked out the house for generations. We don't need you. I can go get government assistance. The young men growing up out there without fathers. Because mind you, once a lot of these young men's fathers got kicked out of the household, like I said, some became drug dealers that eventually went on to get killed. So now this young man ain't got no daddy. On the flip side, some of the fathers that was out there on the streets turned into drug addicts who end up being a drug addict drunk for the next 30, 40 years until he passed away. I'm telling y'all, bro, get in the comments and let me know if I'm tripping, and get on the internet and do y'all homework. But what the government did to Chicago was so successful, they started to do it in Memphis, Alabama, Atlanta, fucking goddamn everywhere, bro. St. Louis, everywhere. When the government seen how successful they experiment was on the people of Chicago, that food stamp shit started to go every fucking where, and it started to get implemented in every inner city neighborhood. Uncle Sam infiltrated the homes and gained control of the household and made the father nothing. The father don't mean nothing. So it's a lot of young dudes can't answer what happened in Chicago. But I feel like everything I done seen and all the knowledge I done gained and everything I done read and all the documentaries, that's what happened to Chicago, y'all. And that's what's happening nationwide in every ghetto. The government implemented that experiment, and welfare has been raising black families ever since then, and it continue to raise black families. Like I told y'all, one of the stipulations to getting that welfare is can't be no man in the house. Uncle Sam the man up in here now. Get in the comments, man. Let me know that I'm tripping. Pray for Chicago, man. Make sure y'all get in the comments, man, because I feel like I really just gave y'all what really happened to Chicago. They was victims of one of the most disgusting government experiments ever. And I hope TikTok don't block this, bro, because TikTok be blocking me for everything, man. Get in the comments.